Hey everybody, here's the big question. How do we as GMs encourage our players to invest time and creativity into creating a backstory? You know, in tabletop RPGs, the backstory of a character often serves as the foundation of a well-developed character. I think it provides depth, motivation, and a sense of connection to the world. However, beyond the initial character creation process, backstories can sometimes feel kind of like the forgotten aspect of the game. Hey everyone, I'm Heavy J, and I've got some cool tips to reward your players for creating backstories. Today on Fat Dragon Adventure. Fat Dragon Adventure is your go-to for all things Dungeons & Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. Want to dive deeper? Subscribe now and consider joining our Patreon to become a Dragon Rider. I feel that TTRPGs are so much more fun when a player has a backstory as opposed to somebody that just shows up to roll dice and kill monsters. I really think that good players know that a character is just not a collection of stats. I also believe that good players will also want their characters to be somebody. Right now, I'm currently playing with somebody who loosely modeled their character after Batman, believe it or not. She did this by creating a multi-class Dark Elf Ranger rogue. She then wrote a really killer backstory about how the character is avenging the death of her parents. I know that's a little on the nose, but I think the point here is she just didn't want to have a two-dimensional character sheet. As for me, when I'm a player, I usually write a 1 to 2 page backstory about my character. Now, I'm not saying that this is for everybody or that you should even force your players to do this, but you should at least encourage your players to write a backstory that includes at least where they came from and why they want to be an adventurer. In fact, I made an entire video on how to make a great character backstory. I'll put the link down in the doobly-doo for you guys. So what about rewarding them for making cool backstories? Now keep in mind that rewards don't need to be mechanical, but they do need to mean something to the players. So encourage this with your players. I'd first suggest tailoring the challenges. Tell them that you will be creating a side quest or an adventure that directly ties into their backstory. Let them know that this could involve revisiting their hometown, or facing a nemesis from their past, or seeking out a lost artifact that they mentioned in their backstory. Next, as a GM, think of designing quests that require specific skills or abilities that align with the character's backstory. This can make the game more challenging and also more rewarding for your players. You can even take it even a step further and also allow your players to learn new skills or improve upon existing ones based upon their actual backstories. For instance, a character who grew up in a harsh environment, like a desert, might become more proficient in survival or combat skills as a reward. Now, I also feel that public acknowledgement goes a long way as a reward, and you can do this by highlighting your players' backstories during the game and sharing it with the rest of the table. And I really believe that this fosters a sense of community and encourages the others at the table to invest in their own characters as well. You could even establish in-game titles that recognize players for well-developed backstories as a reward. This is a lot of fun, and I think that your players will really get a kick out of this. For example, at my table, the Haunted one is the character with the most tragic backstory, while the Unbroken one is the character that has overcome the greatest adversity. Now, a player-driven adventure is another type of reward for developing good character backstories. You can work with your players in developing adventures that really kind of tie into their backstories. And I think that this type of GM-player collaboration allows players to create their own adventures based upon their own backstories. I think this gives them a sense of agency and a lot more ownership over their character's development. And as a bonus, this can help you as a GM come up with new ideas for adventures by letting your players do all the creative, heavy lifting when it comes to story idea generation. I really think it's a good idea to encourage your players to contribute to the overall world building by sharing details about their unique character's past. And I also believe that this can lead to a more immersive and interconnected experience for everyone at the table. So I will tell you this from playing a lot of different TTRPGs in the last 40 years. It's a lot easier to get into your character when you actually know them. Now, I know that many players out there can make mechanically proficient fighters or wizards or whatever, but I think they seriously struggle with making interesting characters. By rewarding players for creating the backstories, you create a more engaging and personalized TTRPG experience. Not only does this encourage the players to invest more time and effort into their characters, but it also helps strengthen the bonds between the players and the actual game world. I do guarantee you this. If your players have backstories, it will make your game just that much more interesting and fun to play. But hey, that's just what I think. What do you guys think? Do you have other ways to encourage your players to create backstories other than the ones that I just went over? If you do, I'd love to hear about them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and you can support the channel by becoming a Dragon Rider, then please visit our Patreon page. The link is down the doobly-doo for you guys. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss our next episode. Until then, ride that fat dragon, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Fat Dragon Adventure. The link is down in the doobly-doo for you. I also don't forget to like. Yeah, I won't forget to like. My God. Not only does this encourage your players to invest more time and effort into their characters, but it also helps strengthen the bonds between the players and the game world. The game word? The game world. Did I say word? I think I said word. World. Oh my God, I can't even say it now. Whatever. It's supposed to be world.